These are the work solutions for the November 2009 Foundation multiple choice question paper. By each question I have put the math swatch clip, so if you are struggling with any of these questions you can refer back to the video and have a go at the online questions. So 6,890 rounding to the nearest 100. So our rounding line in would go in after the 8, after the hundreds column. Looking at that 9, is it 5 or more? Yes it is, so we have 6,900. In question 2, we're looking at for the next term in the sequence. Our sequence is going up in 3 by 3 each time, so 13 add 3 to give us our 16. Question 3, subtraction. Now, as you'll see, even though it's multiple choice, we've still got plenty of space to do some working out, so we can do that down at the bottom. And we end up with 263. Question 4, another sequences question. So we can count the number of dots. So we've got 3, 6, 10. You might recognise them as our triangular numbers. If not, we're adding 3 each time, then 4 each time, then the next one we'd add 5, so we'd end up with 15. Looking at a number line now, so we've got 102, 103, we've got 5 parts in between, so the next little dash is indicating 102.2. Multiple of 9, so that means a number that's in the 9 times table, so that's going to be 45. So 9 metres in centimetres, so 1 metre is 100 centimetres, so 9 metres would be 900 centimetres. Coordinates question next. We want to know which point has the coordinate -4, 3. So our coordinate is in the format xy. So we're looking at -4 across and 3 up. So that is going to be E. Some addition of negative numbers here. So we've got our -7, add a -2. I always like to think about it in terms of a drink and ice cubes. So if I've got a drink and it's -7 degrees and then I'm going to add in 2 more ice cubes, what's going to happen is my drink's going to get colder, so I'm going to end up with -9. We've got a rectangle here, we want to know what the perimeter is. So the perimeter is the distance around the outside. So quite often they'll only give you 2 values. So make sure you label up the other ones to make sure that you are adding all the distances around the outside of the shape. So we've got our 8 plus 8 plus 5 plus 5. So we end up with 26 centimetres. We've got point P here on a coordinate grid. We just want to know the coordinates. So remember, our coordinates are in the format xy. So we're going along the corridor and then up or down the stairs. So we have 1 minus 2, which is A. 1/5 written as a decimal. You may wish to pop a denominator of 10. So we can multiply by 2. So we have 2/10, which is the same as 0.2. Question 13, we're looking at angles. We want to know the angle of x. So here we're using the angle fact of angles around a point add up to 360. So we need to do 360 degrees, subtract our 58 to give us 302. Multiplying negatives this time. So when we are multiplying two negative numbers together, our answer is positive, so we end up with a positive 15. Got a number sequence here. We want to know what the next term is in the sequence. So you should recognise these numbers as our square numbers. So we've got 9, 16, 25, 36. So we've got 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared. So we're looking for 7 squared, which is 49. Okay, 0.32 written as a fraction. So here we have 32 over 100. So in some questions they might ask you to simplify that. In this case we're not, it's just 32 over 100. Looking at an area of a parallelogram now. So area of a parallelogram is just the same as a rectangle. We're just doing our base times height, our length times width. So here we're doing 6 multiplied by 8 to give us 48 centimetres squared. Okay, 37.68 to one significant figure. So the 3 is our first significant figure. Popping my rounding line in there. Looking at that 7, is it 5 or more? Yes. So our 3 is going to move up to a 4, but we must remember to pop in that 0 so it's holding that same place value, so 40 to one significant figure. Question 19, we've got an isosceles triangle. So those little lines just mean that those lengths are the same in length. If they are the same, that means our base angles are equal. Angles in a triangle add up to 180. So we can do our 180 subtract the 40 to give us 140. However, that's for both of those angles, so I need to divide that by 2 to find the value of x. So x is going to be 70 degrees. Okay, Paul buys some stamps for 25p each, and the total cost is £14. How many stamps does Paul buy? So we can buy 4 stamps for £1. So if I have £14, or spend £14, I'm multiplying by 14. So what we need to do is our 4 multiplied by 14. So again, plenty of space to do that. Double 14 and then double it again. So we've got 28 and then double 28 to give us 56. So he buys 56 stamps. And question 21, we have a 3D grid here. I want to know the coordinates of P. So again, with a 3D grid, our coordinates are in the format x, y, z. So our x coordinate would be 0, our y coordinate would be 2, and our z coordinate would be 5. So we've got 0, 2, 5, which is E. Question 22, we're looking at the area of a triangle. So the formula for the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So remember, this height has to be the perpendicular height. Okay, so we actually don't need that slant height there. So we don't need that 5 centimetres. We're doing our 3 multiplied by 4 divided by 2 to give us 6 centimetres squared. Okay, best estimate. So for any estimating, we really should be rounding to one significant figure. So here I would round 6.1 to 6. I'd round 9.6 to 10. And I would round 19.6 to 20. So 6 multiplied by 10 gives me 60. 60 divided by 20 gives me 3. So that's E there. Okay, we've got an arithmetic sequence or a linear sequence here. What is the nth term? So we're looking, what does the sequence go up in each time? Goes up in 4s, so we automatically write our 4n. But do we start with the number 4? No. What do I need to do to 4 to get to 7? I'm adding 3, so we have 4n plus 3. And then finally, question 25, we've got the coordinates of A are -3, 9. The coordinates of B are 5, 1. M is the midpoint. What is the midpoint? So to find the midpoint, what we're doing is we're adding our two x coordinates together and dividing by 2. And we're adding our two y coordinates together and dividing by 2. So we end up with -3 plus 5 divided by 2. And 9 plus 1 divided by 2. So -3 plus 5 gives us 2. 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. And then our 9 plus 1 is 10. Divided by 2 gives us 5. So we end up with the coordinate 1, 5.